2019 Rangeley Town Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Andy Schaefer.
Here.
Andy Key.
Here.
Trey Roby.
Here.
Luke Gear.
Present.
Tyson Hacking. Matt Bilgren.
Here.
Rich Garner.
Here. Andy, will you lead us in the invocation, please?
Absolutely. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us here today to handle this important town business that we're here to do. Please give us the strength and the whatever we need to make the right decisions. This is the direction we want the town to go. Thank you for blessing all of us with this great snow that we need. Please give us some more. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Lisa, will you lead us in the invocation, please? Or pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 5, discussion and action to approve the minutes of the January 8th, 2019 meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the January 8th, 2019 Town Council meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion by Matt, second by Rich. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Petitions and public input. Changes to the agenda.
We just have changed the young ladies that were going to attend for Rowdy Worm couldn't attend tonight. There's a basketball game. So hopefully the next meeting there won't be another basketball game. And we added also a letter of support for Ken Parsons to be appointed to the EIAF Advisory Committee. And just to add our endorsement along with AGNC's for that position.
Okay. I don't think we have any public hearing. Committee and board meetings. I don't think we had any meetings either.
RDA, RDC last Thursday.
And I apologize.
But
We can talk about that, or you want to?
I'll just jump in real
Sure,
quick. We
sure,
just had a
sure.
pretty good brief discussion about what they're going to focus on, what we're going to work towards. Got basically updates on some stuff from the college. They've got some things really moving in the right direction. Some programs coming in. Not exactly sure what the programs are going to be at this point. They said that should be coming out a couple weeks, I think is what he said. Was that
Yeah.
Just a couple weeks. So they're going to be coming out with that. And he did say some certificate stuff. They're working on getting a welding certificate program up there. Welding program. I'm adding certificate. Should clarify.
And that's one that they used to have, which I don't recall.
Right.
I don't remember it either.
So that's a cool deal. I mean, that's trade. That's what we need more of. Let's see who else updated. What else?
Well, we tried to also
art.
go over changing how the grants are. Meeker has a grant that they basically have a pot of money that they just will grant usually no more than $5,000 per business, and they can use it for whatever. And you know, the RDA members talked about they felt like that might be a more positive use of funds, depending on how much the council wants to, you know, add into that pot each year for the businesses in Rangeley or new businesses. So we'll at some point bring that before the council, and obviously this year the RDA will have to live within what monies they have, but we'll also have the revenue from the one duplex that will be transferred over hopefully in the near future.
And then the other update was the museum.
DARG.
Yeah, they came and updated us on archaeology study for Escalante Canyon and all that. I haven't heard any further, but they're waiting on a 5-year plan that DARG is supposed to provide them for where they can start moving forward. That's really cool stuff they're working on. I think that could be pretty interesting and something, a direction Rangeley's never really taken. So pretty cool stuff. That was pretty much it.
And we talked about the airport car.
The airport car, yes.
And I don't know if Andy wants to bring this up, but we were kind of thinking about coming back to the council too with maybe one Charger left, and if we're not gonna sell it and it's still drivable, that might be something the town could consider as a donation to that. We wouldn't be insuring it. That was something that was, offered by a private citizen, and we could also do something similar to rental cars, and, they have to sign off when they drive it that their personal insurance would cover any, accidents or fender benders.
Could we get, if we did something like that, could we get out from underneath it if we donated the car?
Oh, yeah, we wouldn't
100%?
be liable.
I think that was the plan. That would be what would happen. The only thing we had to check on basically was, like, if you can, being a taxpayer-funded entity, if you can just donate like that, because there's some stipulations about
Well,
auctioning or something.
we
right?
donated cars to the college for their Ranger program,
Right.
so but we'll make sure that that's a viable option before we go down that path.
Yeah, we would be being clear of it at that point. The citizen involved would be, yes.
What is the, what does a college need if they're getting these programs? What does a college need from us to move forward? How can we help them?
I think this is a fantastic question that we're gonna
Ron
have to
talked about
include.
too that he would like to start kind of having maybe monthly meetings with myself and Connie, and I feel like those would be the best way for us to find out what he needs, and I would bring it back to you, whether it be funds or support or whatever that is. And Connie definitely could address how to, help get out, the word. She's going to be my messenger, so I would say she's the best way to get things out there to help support the college, and or just how we can interact, the town and the college, and make that a better relationship.
I personally would think it would be wise for us to start considering putting away monetary value for them on a consistent basis, whether that be for capital improvements or whatever. I think that's something we really need to consider as a board. It's a staple of the community. With the community college system, I don't think they get a lot of funding. So. And there's kind of a war on that, but we won't go into that right now.
Do you want to talk about the community networking meeting too, Andy, since I didn't get to attend?
Sure.
Do you mind?
Yeah, so we had a community networking meeting was today. The county did an update. They had the department heads, so one of the really cool things was Ty Gates presented the emergency stuff from the fire season. Basically said $50,000 is roughly what is predicted to be the expense to the county. Like, that's not finalized, but they're getting pretty close, which
As opposed to 40-something million.
800,000 to $1 million a day is what they said, and that one
Yeah.
Cabin Lake fire was 44 days. So we'll be getting a lot of support from there, obviously from the feds, which is good.
There's an 11% enrollment increase also at the college, so that's a positive thing.
They're looking really
Instead of
good.
losing students, they're gaining. Where the other colleges in the network are actually staying flat. So.
And then internet fiber, they're 93 or 97% coverage. They're expected by the end of this year to have over the entire county, which is awesome. And he said 83, I think, was the amount of people that are using the fiber, which means
It's huge.
that's a ton. They said on average it's like 40 to 60. 60 being the high side, and we're up at 83, which means they're seeing that there was definitely a need for it here. Let's see. I think that was pretty much from
The things from Anthony talking about the legislation, some concerns there with some of the stuff that might be coming out, may or may not affect us negatively. Talking about maybe the use of cell phones while driving, no handheld devices, which a lot of states have already incorporated that, and a few other things on, but you just had to be aware of the legislative session coming up and keep our eyes open.
kind of keep you guys in the loop as important ones coming up. There's a encryption bill, like that they should be able to encrypt their radio frequencies. So first responders, so they aren't public can't just sit there and listen to them. They were saying that one of the things things that happened during the Aurora shooting was the guy actually had the walkie-talkie on him and could hear their plans, where they were at, what was going on.
Yeah, or the news shows up before the PD does.
Yeah, so that's good. He thought that was going to be a bill. I don't think it had a sponsor or anything yet, but crazy stuff.
Speak just a little louder. I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yep. Sorry. Move it closer. I'm trying to turn my head and yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. I think that was pretty much it, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah.
I apologize, Marina. You probably attend all of it.
Duty calls.
Pardon?
Duty calls, right?
Well, I appreciate that.
Do we have any other reports from council?
Yeah, I'd like to just kind of throw out there, me and the chamber director went to Denver to sponsor, or not sponsor, but represent Rangeley and Rio Blanco County during the International Sportsman's Expo. And, it was a lot smaller event than I anticipated for an international event. We've been to other things that were much larger, but, still there was good interaction, a lot of exposure for the town, a lot of commitment for some people that are going to come and participate in Roar. Even met some people from my hometown that I didn't know, but personally. But
they talked like you?
Kinda, yeah. That's how we knew we were probably from the same part of the country. But they committed to coming back and bringing some folks with them. So. Like I said, it was a good, probably interacted with several hundred people and a lot of, positive stuff for the community and of course you never know until they show up, but a lot of people made a lot of promises. They're going to come see us. So
It's awesome. Thank you, Matt. And I appreciate you helping the chamber director because she can be pretty challenging. But thank you. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Anything else? Supervisor report. Kelly? Welcome. Happy New Year.
Okay, we've been in the process of testing gas meters at the gas department, making adjustments and repairs to those that require it. We're starting our periodic meter changes. That's where, gas meters changed out at an address every 10 years. That ensures that residents have gas meters that measure correctly and are in good working order. And they have a fresh coat of paint on them when they go out the door. So that's roughly 100 gas meters every year that we change out because they're, on a rotating schedule. So we don't have to do them all in a year. We put a letter on the door, and then we have to make appointments with these people because we have to have their gas off for a short period of time. And so that process takes a while because we have to relight their appliances when we're finished. I've been busy with annual summaries and reports. We've begun town employee training for this year. We covered natural gas training, carbon monoxide training, and consequences of unsafe driving so far. And this week, we have lockout, tagout, and confined space entry on the schedule. What we do is we cover all the topics that are required from our work comp and property casualty insurance, as well as things that we feel like we either need a refresher on from either near misses or things that have happened during the year that, we feel that we need to address. So that's how we've, gone forward with that the past couple of years. And this week, the gas department is starting our operator qualification training. Every year we have to stay operator qualified on what they call covered tasks. We usually end up with about 12 topics we have to cover. Some are every 3 years, some are every year, some are every 5. It varies, but that's what. So that includes usually videos, written testing, and some hands-on exercises. And we've been busy with snow removal. The safety committee has been working on some ideas to kind of try to revamp the town's safety policy. The thoughts are that we need something that applies to all town employees, but we don't want something that is so large and with so much information in it that people don't even know what's in it. You know, the thought is that there's a better chance that employees are going to take it to heart and follow it if we keep it simple and straightforward. So we're trying to look at some policies from some different places and start to maybe work up something in that area, you know, and that, this of course would just be a kind of a blanket, you know, safety policy. Every department has their own, you know, specific policies that they have. We also entered into a contract with Summit for gas purchases for November 2022 through March of 2023. That contract was at $2.96 per MMBTU with a 4-cent fee for Summit. And that total was $3 per MMBTU. That's the lowest price we've contracted gas at since I've been here anyways. And so I think we got a pretty good deal there. So if you guys want to talk about that a little more, we can, or I can just.
What was the price for MCF?
$2.96.
For MMBTU.
Yeah, which is,
Oh, it's
they're
MMBTU.
relatively, you're right. I mean, you know, you can, within 2% usually, depending on the heat value, you know, of your gas. And then the 4 cents fee we pay to Summit. And that fee has not, I don't know if it ever was lower, but it hasn't increased since I've worked for the town, since 2001 at least. That's been a constant. So they've treated us very well, and, you know, like I said, and them along with, you know, working with Williams to get the gas transported, we've had a pretty good working relationship there and haven't had a lot of increase. You know, and they've done some things for us they probably didn't really have to do, considering when you're talking about how big they really are, we're like a drop in the bucket, you know. So, you know, messing with, you know, helping us out isn't something that they, you know, rely on to stay afloat or anything. So it's been a good working relationship, and they've, like I said, they've been pretty good to us so far.
And just recognize too, Kelly is very diligent about knowing when we need to move forward and think about those, because that's pretty far in the future, and she watches that very closely, and she's very good at her job.
Well, and I'm not going to, you know, lie to you. We have in the past, you know, we've gotten into contracts where, you know, everything else besides what we have contracted, and we only contract from November to March, is on index price. And we've been out upside down a couple times. But it's been several years ago now, gas was, gosh, $9, $10. We had some contracted at $5. So we save our customers from the high spikes. You know, we kind of go along like this more than the up and down and up and down and up and down, since our gas rate is adjusted monthly. So that, you know, and most of the time we end up on the good side of things, and every now and then we do end up on the other end. And the way we decide how much gas to purchase is, I have a 10-year usages. You know, we never want to purchase more than we know we're going to use, because once we're locked into those certain amounts, we're locked in. We have to pay for that quantity of gas. So since I've been here, we've never contracted for more gas than we've used. So we've done, you know, all right there. Anything else?
I'll just say that on the safety policy, I know Rich and myself, and I don't know what everybody else's experience is, but you know, I've spent most of my career involved in safety with at the corporate level, and if you need any, I would be willing to review what we have.
Sure. Well, and that's what we would never, you know, we would bring it to you guys first.
And give
Right.
input on what I think is, you know, beneficial or needs, just give them my 2 cents, I'd be willing to
We'd
help.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we're still kind of, like I said, we're in the beginning phases still really of that process. So,
Well, thank you, Kelly.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Reed, welcome.
So I'll just jump off into it too. A few weeks back, we were approached by Deserato, or they gave us a call. End of the year, one of their operators walked out, leaving them high and dry for their wastewater licensing. This currently puts them out of compliance, so they came forward to us and requested if there was something that we could do. Jocelyn worked on it with Lisa as far as putting an IGA agreement together. That's currently under review with them to see if there's any terms that they may need to add to that. But we estimated that maybe 15 hours a month between Emily and myself currently to be out there and to carry them along and get them back in compliance. We want to make sure we have the board's blessing on doing this for the Deserato. They have one operator who has a license in the water side. It's probably going to take him anywhere from 9 months to a year before he will have the C license to take back over on the wastewater side. So I have moved forward with giving them the information on me as far as putting me as an ORC status to get them by and get them through this time. I don't know if there's much more that I can add to it.
We did this previously when Jack was here. I don't know.
So has the town attorney been involved with this process?
He reviews everything.
Okay, I was just making sure that there's no liability that we could be.
We made sure it was
accountable
clear
to.
and pretty cut and dry that the town won't incorporate any liability on this. We will do our utmost to help them and guide them through this process. We did set a pretty reasonable rate for reimbursement. They'll reimburse us for everything that we do, and we apply out there to help them.
And Don and I also discussed that it will not compromise our operations.
It was more.
Just to be clear, we will be billing them for the hours you're out there, right?
Yes.
Correctly, on a
Yes.
monthly basis.
Just making sure it's
Jeff
not
And that's
was
also
very
been,
agreeable to whatever we wanted to bill them.
that's also incorporated in the agreement. That we can terminate at any time for any reason.
So is that, you guys are still working on the,
We've
It's not an
done all
IGA,
of our
but it's
site.
a-
It's a operator agreement.
Pretty much, it's an operator agreement, it's not really an IGA.
yeah.
It's basically just for services rendered. I'm hoping that their guy can move along pretty quick, but I don't know his study habits. Apparently he doesn't.
I'm waiting for their lawyer to review it before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that you'll have to sign off on it too, Andy.
That's fine. Once you get it done, then we'll take care of it when it gets there.
Okay. So on the second note, Lisa, Jocelyn, and I all went out to Chevron and met with some new attorneys and some new engineers on the agreement that we've been trying to reach with them. I think their attorney has finally come to terms with what we're trying to offer and do to help and assist them, pretty much in the same lines of what we're doing for them. But this is an actual IGA agreement that we would be working with them, but pretty much same standard. And I'll update you as we go along. Seems like the wheels of Chevron move kind of slow sometimes, Matt.
It's winter time.
Yes.
Well, and changing of hands for whatever reason, every time
2 months.
I think we've gotten close, then that 2 years expired, and so we're starting with somebody new.
Yeah, you have to start at the beginning of their
The 2 years.
tenure. Yeah, the 2 years
Yeah.
clock.
Okay. Any questions in regards to that. Anything else? Also, a couple weeks ago, I was on Snortel and some of the other snowpack sites. I was glad that you kind of brought that up and prayed because we kind of need some more snow. The good thing is 2 weeks ago we were at 29%, and right now we're bordering closing in on 100%, which was outstanding. But we need some more. I've also researched a little bit. We start to show a little bit warmer trends these past few years in the wintertime, and this is a concern because you're getting melt off and not building the snowpack. But I just wanted to let you know on that. So we're not quite out of the woods yet, but we're getting there. Next item we have is the ongoing warranty issue with the water plant. Droslin and myself are both starting to become a little bit frustrated. Every offer that we've put out there to West Tech so far has been turned down or rebutted by them. We have another new proposal on the table, and it's a price range of $35,000 to $40,000. It's not on us, it's on them. But unfortunately, we believe that the last straw of taking them to court would be futile on our part to go after it. I don't think that there's certain things that they didn't do, but maybe there's certain things that our contractor did and we were the GC on it. So we're hoping for some kind of compromise in between on that, where it's going to go, but we're pushing for them to pay for it all. So right now, we had a conversation with Bruce from West Tech this afternoon. So he's going to take it to his upper echelon and hopefully give us a decision. But we're pretty adamant about getting some kind of timeline and getting the schedule to get this done and over with. Any questions? Next item, you guys, unfortunately, Luke, you know what's going on with Michael. But since Michael is going to be out for a few more weeks, we've been able to utilize him at home. We have some pretty major projects that we needed to do on our computer of upgrading all our SOPs. I believe he's working with you on some of the things. So we're able to utilize him without distraction, and he's making pretty significant progress on his injury, and and hopefully we can get him back. He's surely missed because me and the other staff are having to kind of fill his shoes while he's gone. It'll probably be several months before he can go back on call. But his spirits are good, our spirits are good, and we're getting through, so we're making ends meet. So the overall operation is we're still good. We're still there. And my last item is I would like to request somewhere down the line to be able to sit down with the council on a working session. There's several issues that we probably need to sit down and mull over and discuss and see which way we're going to go, move forward on some things, or see what we can do. Other than that, that's all I have.
Does Lisa know where you're going with this stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's water, wastewater. and
Yeah, actually, it's the emergency response plan, the master plan. We have to update the utilities master plan, which includes all of our utilities over the next 20 years. It's also part of the eligibility survey that I have to do every year, so we qualify for DOLA dollars or grant dollars. So some of it's kind of important. The collection and wastewater, how we're kind of moving forward with that, how it fits into the master plan. But I don't really want to go into a lot of this. I think we can have
That's a
a
bigger
working
discussion than
session,
we
and
can have
because there's
right
quite a
now.
few things to go over on this.
Can you get everything ready and we can go through the February 1st council meeting in February?
Sure.
Maybe a work session beforehand, or how long is it going to take? How much time do you want us
If we can push
to?
it back maybe to the second meeting in February, I don't know. Whatever's feasible for you, but I need a little bit more time on some of the things that we're looking at doing, so I can have some solid numbers to give you.
Is an hour enough time, or as time goes on, you'll be able to tell us?
Time goes on, I'll be able to tell you.
Okay.
Probably an hour. We can, if we don't dilly-dally, we can get through it pretty quick.
Okay,
Okay?
sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Tom. Lisa?
I did find a Chromebook that isn't quite as expensive. It's going to be something more similar to this unit, which you're going to have a hard case, you know, but we'd also get cases with it. And I discussed it with the mayor, and I just went ahead and ordered those because I can't get a, you know, demo of one of those, but I do think it'll work. It'll be a little more durable if you did any bouncing off of something. But I did go ahead and order those. They'll set up your guys' profiles and also, you know, label them and put serial numbers on them, and we'll have a little policy to sign about use of that item. Oh, that's just astonishing, right? Just a few revenue items that we came in. CEBT gave back their dividend, but that was also included in the quote that we got to lower it. But that was a $10,000, almost $11,000 that we got. That'll go back towards that expense item to keep the health insurance lower this year. We did get a refund from our contract with Better Cities in the amount of $17,831. So that was a nice piece of revenue, which we'll probably put back into the prior year. I did get notification that I got my scholarship for the CCCMA conference that I'm going to go to. That will pay for all of my motel and the entry fee, which wasn't huge, but that's really a nice little piece of revenue too. We joined the Mountain States Employer Council, which will help us with our policies and with the evaluations. They will give us a lot of direction there. It'll also provide Maribel with free training for human resources, which I think will be really valuable. I mean, of course, you know, her and I will have lots of conversations too, but I think the trainings will be very beneficial for her job. So it'll help us in a lot of ways and give us some good employee advice too, as well as CERSA. So that's just another resource that we have. So that's what we'll utilize them, a big portion of that service for, is to try and work on those things that we talked about in the previous year. Sorry. I think we have just been working on moving forward, and we'll talk about the income statement when we get to that point, if you'd like, or if I can go over that now. This is just a preliminary. When we get to the end of the year, it usually takes me at least a couple months into the year, and obviously Maribel and I will go over that because we get so many revenues in the year you're in that are for the previous year. I still have probably $160,000 grant that I don't have receipt of, another $4,001 from AG&C for the pool memorial that we still haven't gotten, all the revenues that we get in January from all the different various state agencies are for December, which will go back in, and those are not included in this income statement. But I will like to brag on all the supervisors. We don't have any red. So even though we budgeted to be in the hole on a few funds, we are not in the hole. So I think that's due to our supervisors monitoring and making sure they keep track of their budget. So kudos to them.
Yeah, to all of you.
That's kind of all I have tonight, Andy.
Did you get have you gotten the notification for the AG&C mini grants yet for 19?
I did,
Okay.
and I'll put
Just
that
making sure you got
into
it.
your guys' packet next time too, so in case any other council members would like to attend.
Was that all, Lisa?
Yes.
So two things that I had. I've been in the office here for mainly today, and you can hear just the ladies talking about the snow removal thing. And I think that's part of our responsibility as a council to, I think our guys are out there doing the best job that they can, and I know they can't make everybody happy, but I do think that the guys are doing the best job that they can.
I agree with you.
And like I said, not everybody's ex-town employees are coming in complaining, and it's not even the town's fault. But I would think the avenue to go to move forward would be to come to the front desk if they have problems with their snow. But as a council, I think we ought to realize that the guys are really doing what they can to do the best job, and they were out all weekend long.
I don't think everybody always understands their priorities. I mean, they have a certain set path. They have to get the main streets open. They have to have emergency routes open. They always try to make sure the school bus routes are as clear as they can be. And when you get a ton of snow, we're going to have piles. And unfortunately, I would like them to do my driveway too, but I don't get that. So, everything isn't the government's responsibility. We all have to chip in and do our part too. So,
We've been fortunate for the last couple of years that we haven't really had that, and then it all happens one storm, and everybody's freaking out that they're. So, anyways, my other topic would be the police department shooting. Lisa's been advised by our attorney not to talk about it. There's 2 different investigations going on right now, and it's not something that we need to compromise. And so as far as any information that we have more than what's out there right now, there's no updates. And until those 2 investigations, which would be the criminal and then internal, until they're done, we don't have any updates. And that's what our attorney's advised to announce to people.
Well, and at no time too, and I know you all know this, but our police department has been staffed, and the Rio Blanco County, Moffett County, Meeker PD have all chipped in, and just a big, huge amount of thanks goes to Ty and Mercy. They have done an outstanding job, and it's hard for them to, work under those circumstances as well. So.
Is our new officer, he probably can't go out by himself yet?
He can't. He
Right.
has to
He's
stay
gonna have so
under
long. Okay.
Ty for, Rich
while.
can
What's his
chime
FTO
in for
usually?
the amount of time, but it's,
Usually it's about 12 weeks, could be a little longer,
Right.
could be a little shorter, just depends. He
But-
doesn't have any back experience, so.
But there is,
Right,
he
12 to
can
14
offer
weeks.
some support and help in some cases, I would assume.
not by himself.
Not like patrolling or anything like that, but there are things he can help them with that are coming in.
And he's pretty much tied to Ty's hip.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. But I will have Ty next meeting if you can. Bring him along and introduce you to him. He has to duck to come in my doorway, so he's a
It's good.
formidable person to meet. Very, very nice and conscientious too, so. But we will definitely make sure he gets to meet everybody at a council meeting. But like I said, the PD has been staffed, and we've gone through 2, that's the other update I did forget. We've had 6 interviews for dispatchers, so we're working really hard on getting dispatch back up to fully staffed. And hopefully that will relieve some of the pressures that they're under right now too.
I have a question on snow removal. I know we're kind of moving back on that. So we plow Main Street. It's a state highway. Does the state give us any money for all the time and effort? And
That's our main street in their estimation.
well,
I mean, they throw their blade down too, but I don't believe that it's CDOT's responsibility. If we're going to leave it to them, they're going to do how they need to do it. And
Just plow to the side.
Jeff's, he wants to get the streets open, and they have other responsibilities. Their Main Street's not going to be their first place they go.
yeah, I just get because they tell us what we can and can't do with it, and then they tell us where they're going to put signs, and they tell us what we can do with it, but then they don't take care of it, and then we have to spend all the money. Why? I don't see why we don't try to even try to see if they'll compensate us for our time.
I mean, we
it's-
could definitely have that conversation. Jeff probably would have a lot more background than I do, and I will probably have him up next on the next council meeting. But I'll let him address that, Trey.
I mean, I think we ought to try to. I mean, there's no point. All they can do is say no, but to me, they set everything for it. They tell us what we can and can't do, and then
So we go within that as a negotiation tactic and say, if you're not going to pay for it, then you don't have any say on what goes on it. I like it, Trey.
I mean, it's if we gotta.
I think you can always, you know,
I mean, all they
have
can do is
those
say
conversations.
all they can do is say no.
No,
I mean,
no.
I think it's something we can at least try. Just that way we could be compensated for all the time and effort we spend to keep it clean and keep it looking nice and keep everything on it.
Right.
Because they do a good job keeping it clean.
Right.
But I think the state should have to help us. Being it's a highway and they tell you what we can and can't do with it. So
No, I agree with you.
I think we ought to sit
At
down
least
with
have
Jeff.
that conversation.
Yeah. Like I said, all they can do is say no,
Right.
but it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
So-
And I don't know the answer to that question, but we'll definitely find out.
Even if they could bring one of their loaders and
Haul some of the snow.
Help, huh?
I mean,
It is their highway. I mean,
they put all the restrictions on us and then expect us to take care of it. We clean it all summer, we clean it all winter. So I think,
Yeah,
I think it'd be worth a shot
We
just
can
to
definitely
ask.
have those conversations. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Okay.
Gary Denny, I think, is a
He's
area
the,
supervisor now. I don't think that they
and like I
call him
said,
that.
if
but-
Jeff were here, he could probably just be right up, give you that answer.
Anything else for Lisa? Questions? Old business, item A. Do you have any information on Julie Drake, what she's wanting to do, or she have a
Well,
proposal on what she's
I
wanting?
think she wants us to have something more robust in our municipal code than what the Colorado revised statutes talk about underage smoking and vaping. And she had kind of entered into those conversations with the school district, and I think Crandall had contacted Chief Wilczek, and so kind of need to do a lot more research, and she even backed away from it because she felt like the Meeker ordinance had gone in a different direction than what she would like to propose to the town of Rangeley. So between her and I just suggested I wanted to kind of get a little more research and also talk to the school district. I mean, it's fine for us to talk about that, but with that given said, unless the school district has a policy that helps us enforce what she would like us to enter into our municipal code, I don't feel like that's really very productive.
Has she provide any education at the high school
I
for the
don't
kids?
know. To somebody, I don't have children anymore. and-
I mean, that to me would be a start in the right direction instead of,
But I do think the
Make it
school
allowable.
district needs to have a policy about how that is handled that would support any changes we have in our municipal code. Otherwise, you're not going to accomplish anything. So, and I don't know if they do.
okay? Anything else on that?
Yeah, so the school, just to ask a few questions on that. The school district, the students aren't allowed to smoke or vape, right?
No, but they can get caught on school grounds with it.
okay.
And if she is asking us as a municipality to enforce that and say, if they get caught, then we're going to go and, enforce some law or regulation. It's not very productive for us to go and say that unless the school is going to say that's their policy as well.
Right.
Otherwise, it will turn into an
so
argument
the-
between parents, the school district, and
Does this affect teachers as well? I mean, are they allowed to smoke on campus?
no.
No.
This, I think her drive is towards underage smoking and vaping,
Okay.
but that's a hard thing to enforce because
Yeah.
many kids who are underage smoke, and they shouldn't be doing it on school grounds, obviously. But I don't know.
I
That's
believe
just
that-
something that we'd have to really
I was gonna
discuss.
say, I don't
and-
think we need to be in the business of
Schools-
legislating
schools-
personal responsibility
Yeah, right.
on people. Let them handle it themselves. at
Well,
point.
this was something that I believe Crandall came to our police department about, and I wasn't involved in those conversations. So, like I said, we've kind of backed away from going going down that path right now. I have to see more information from the school district, and I think that's a conversation that the council would need to really feel comfortable with as well.
Well, and truthfully, there's nothing saying the district can't have their own policies and their own enforcement program to deal with that.
Yeah, I like I said, I have not talked to the school district about it.
How are you talking to their board members?
There you go.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Matt? New business. Item B, discussion action to approve the preliminary financial summary for December 2019.
I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary financial summary for December 2018.
Second.
Good catch.
Motion's made by Andy, second by Rich, with the change to the 2018. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion action to approve the liquor license renewal for Come and Go. And I believe that Ty's looked at that. There's no complaints on it.
That's correct.
Janet couldn't be here tonight. She had training out of town, so I apologize for that.
I'll make a motion to approve the liquor license renewal for Come and Go.
Second.
Motion is made by Andy Key, second by Rich. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, discussion and action to approve the letter of support for Ken Parsons to the EIAF Advisory Committee. And I think there's a letter here and also,
I just included Ken's history because a lot of you may not be completely familiar with that. That's not going to be sent. That's just for your information. And also AG&C's letter supporting Ken.
Yeah, he's very well qualified.
Did it say on the resume that he sat in that seat before? I didn't see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that's the name that came up with, and I think it's for our whole our region, which is I think pretty cool to have it right out of Rangeley, and that was one of the reasons I thought it was really important for us to have a letter of support as well.
And I know when he served as county commissioner, he was very active in the legislature.
Right.
So
Yeah, he's one of the statewide well-respected individuals as it comes to severance tax, how it's the calculations formulas for all that, and that's one of the reasons they really like the idea of him doing it. So,
and having served on a board with him, I can tell you he is very thoughtful about every decision that is made.
Yeah.
He crosses every bridge.
Yep. And does anybody questions on what the EIAF is or concerns or anything? I mean, if not, I'll make a motion to approve the letter.
Second.
motion was made by Andy Key, second by Trey. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Informational items. I thought the informational items from the Park and Rec District, I don't remember one for last year, so I thought that was nice. The crab crack is,
Andy too. The schedule's in
what's that?
the schedule for AG&C.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that.
The crab crack is the 9th. Is everybody on the council going?
Yeah.
Rich?
I don't know yet. I don't have a ticket, but I may be going.
Let's talk afterwards. What about you, Matt? You got a ticket?
We know he's got a ticket.
He has a ticket.
I'll be
He's probably got a pocket full of tickets.
You got a ticket.
Yeah.
So theme is roaring 20s, huh? Oh, that'll be rough.
I'll just say that that's one of the things that Connie mentioned after the crab crack should be coming back to address the council. You know, some of the stuff going on, and like the expo, the interaction there. She wanted to kind of report out, but she's got a lot going on, and she said she'll be coming back to see us after the crab crack.
Great. And then the 2019 AG&C board meeting schedule.
If anybody does want to go to one of those, let me know. If any of those look appealing, especially the one here.
Very good. The board vacancies are still there. Announcements are still there. Anything else anybody would like to address the council about? Meeting is adjourned. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, we're still there.
The only other thing we talked about somebody to represent our community when it comes to the water, the round table for the white, green.
I want to talk to you
Yampa.
about that a little more. We're not there yet. After talking to Alden, there are 2 non-voting positions. You know, Alden is on the board. That's not something that just changes. So there's 2 non-voting advisory, but you still get to participate and be at that level. So we're not quite there yet, but I would like the board to consider allowing someone, either Dawn or Jocelyn, to be on that board, and Dawn's aware of that. So we will come back for a
No emergency.
no, but they're open, and I don't know, I'll have to readdress that with Alden. There might be another board position coming open, but I don't know if that's true yet or not. So we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Anything else?
What do you got? You got
Adjourned
Oh, okay.
at 1951. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Lisa, Mary.